It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover has completely deactivated her Instagram. Over 2 million followers are now just gone, which begs the question, does she regret siding with Blake Lively in the Justin Baldoni drama?
Oh boy. If you're not familiar with her, she is Colleen Hoover, the author whose novel Justin Baldoni found, optioned, and turned into the movie co-starring Ryan Reynolds' wife and Taylor Swift's bestie, Gossip Girl alum and B-list actress Blake Lively.
Why did Colleen Hoover just vanish from Instagram, wiping out 2 million followers overnight? Was it the drama surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? Or is there something deeper going on? If you're not familiar with Colleen Hoover, she's the author of It Ends With Us, a book that skyrocketed in popularity after Justin Baldoni snatched up the film rights. The project, starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, was expected to be a heart-wrenching tearjerker, but then came a series of shocking behind-the-scenes conflicts, rumors of creative control battles, a potential secret romance, and even lawsuits. Now, Colleen Hoover has pulled the plug on her Instagram. 2 million followers gone.
Fiasco.
Poof,
so,
just like
if you
that.
hop
And
over
the big question
to Colleen
everyone's
Hoover's
asking,
Instagram,
did Colleen regret
not
picking
there.
a side
She had
in
a
the Blake
whopping
versus Justin feud? Let's break it down because
radio
this
silence.
drama is about
Typically
to
an
get
author
even messier.
But before we unravel whether Colleen is bailing because she regrets siding with Blake, or if something else is up, do me a quick favor, smash that like button and subscribe to keep these drama vibes coming. So let's strap in for another ride through Tinseltown.
Tell our audience what it's about.
Well, it's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And
Out of
I hope people
nowhere,
find it
Colleen
inspiring
Hoover's Instagram account gone, completely wiped. No posts, no stories, no sign of the author who had amassed over 2 million followers. One day it's there, the next it's nothing but silence. And trust me, when a celebrity with that much of a following pulls a disappearing act, people notice, fast. You'd think someone with such a huge platform would at least leave a message, right? Maybe a little taking a break for personal reasons, or see you soon. Nope, just poof. Radio silence. And that's where the mystery deepens. Was it a move to protect her mental health? Or is something more sinister at play? Rumors are swirling that Colleen is feeling the heat after throwing her support behind Blake Lively in the It Ends With Us debacle. Could her Instagram disappearance be a way to retreat from the backlash? Or perhaps is she stepping back from the chaos, hoping it will all blow over? Here's the thing, Colleen's Instagram wasn't just a casual fan page. She had a massive following with fans hanging on her every word, especially after the global success of It Ends With Us. This wasn't just a disappearing act, it's an exit from the public eye at a time when every move she makes is under a microscope. But why now? What's really going on behind the scenes that might have triggered this sudden exit? Could Colleen be retreating because she's caught in the crossfire of a much bigger storm? We'll dig into the why in just a second, but first, let's take a step back and look at what's fueling all this drama.
He alleges in his lawsuit against what many are calling Amber Heard 2.0 that she never even read the novel, and he's got texts to prove it.
To understand the tension, we need to rewind a bit. It Ends With Us wasn't just a book, it became a cultural phenomenon. Colleen Hoover's story about Lily and Ryle resonated with millions, and Hollywood took notice. Enter Justin Baldoni, who quickly secured the film rights, and the project began to take shape. But here's where things get messy, the casting choices. Blake Lively was brought in to star alongside Justin as the female lead, Lily. At first it seemed perfect, until the rumors started swirling. Blake Lively, known for her role as Serena van der Woodsen in Gossip Girl and her high-profile marriage to Ryan Reynolds, has always had a magnetic presence. But behind the scenes, whispers of creative control began to emerge. Suddenly, it wasn't just about making a faithful adaptation of the beloved book, it was about Blake's vision of the film, and fans were starting to notice. The most eyebrow-raising rumors, allegations that Blake might have had a hand in rewriting parts of the script, and it didn't stop there. Some fans even speculated that Blake and Justin had a lot lot more than just a professional relationship. Allegations of secret flirty texts and off-screen sparks started to surface. Fans were left wondering, was this a love story being built on screen and off? Or was there something more going on that could undermine the heart of the novel's message? And in the middle of it all, Colleen Hoover's role in all this. She was standing firmly behind Blake, with the It Ends With Us adaptation being touted as Blake's project. Colleen's support for her co-star was clear, but this raised a massive question. Where did that leave Justin? He had been the one to champion Colleen's book long before it became the blockbuster hit it is today. Was he being pushed out of the spotlight in favor of a more glamorous approach? Fans of the book, who were used to the emotional depth and rawness of Colleen's writing, were shaken by the shift. And as the drama surrounding Blake, Justin, and Colleen intensified, the online community started to pick sides. Colleen, it seemed, had chosen hers, but how far would that decision go in a town like Hollywood, where the stakes are high and the loyalty of fans is everything?
Oh boy. Perez Hilton here, and if you're not familiar with her, she is Colleen Hoover. So, Colleen Hoover has ended it. She's finally had enough. She just took down her entire page. Not there. You can verify for yourself.
He's blasting Blake as Amber Heard 2.0.
The real turning point came when Colleen Hoover, the woman who brought It Ends With Us into the world, made her stance crystal clear. She was Team Blake. Now, this might not seem like such a big deal at first. After all, Blake was the star of the film, and Hollywood is often a place where alliances are formed based on power and influence. But here's the twist. Justin Baldoni, the actor-director who had been Colleen's biggest supporter from the very beginning, was suddenly sidelined, and fans weren't happy about it. For anyone who's followed the saga, it's hard to ignore the fact that Justin was the one who fought to bring Colleen's book to life. Long before the buzz around the film reached a fever pitch, it was Justin who was championing the story of Lily and Ryle. He was vocal about his love for the book, even before it exploded in popularity. So when Colleen threw her full support behind Blake, people couldn't help but wonder, was she turning her back on the man who helped make the film possible in the first place? Here's the thing, Colleen didn't just support Blake in a casual, we're all friends here kind of way. No, her public backing was full-throated. In fact, it looked like Colleen was actively siding with Blake in the growing feud between her and Justin, which left fans feeling betrayed. Why? Because Colleen's decision to align herself with Blake was seen as a slap in the face to Justin, the person who had always believed in her work, long before the star power of Blake Lively came into play. But here's where things get really juicy. Rumors began to circulate that Colleen's decision wasn't just about personal loyalty, it was about the business side of things. With Blake's star power, It Ends With Us could become a massive hit, drawing in even more viewers. Colleen might have realized that aligning with a powerhouse like Blake could give her and the movie the kind of attention and reach that Justin, for all his talent, couldn't provide. So what happens when you mix Hollywood's cutthroat nature with a fan base that's emotionally attached to a book's original vision? Well, you get a full-blown backlash. Fans who had adored Colleen for her honest storytelling and emotional depth began to turn on her. They felt like she was compromising the heart of the story, the raw and real portrayal of difficult issues like domestic violence, for the glitzy world of Hollywood drama, and that was something they weren't ready to forgive. But here's the kicker. What if Colleen knew exactly what she was doing? What if deep down she recognized that siding with Blake was a smart move in the Hollywood game? After all, It Ends With Us wasn't just a novel anymore. It was a brand, and the bigger the brand, the bigger the risks. Still, fans weren't buying it. They felt like Colleen had allowed the allure of Blake's Hollywood glitter to overshadow the very themes of the book that made it so special in the first place. And as the drama escalated, Colleen's unwavering support for Blake only seemed to fuel the flames. So what does Colleen really think about all this? Is she simply caught in a messy situation, or is there something deeper at play here? Something that could shift the entire narrative?
You'd think, given all this experience, Colleen Hoover might not just jump to defend Blake Lively, but she did. She did.
She was involved in every aspect of this production.
I came here today to say, as a man, that this is wrong, this is toxic, and it has to end.
They seemed in sync with the plan to keep the film authentic, respectful, not overshadowed by glam. Then TikTok...
Things took a dramatic turn when a lawsuit entered the picture, and that's when the real fireworks started. If you thought this story couldn't get any more tangled, hold on, because now we've got legal battles on the table. Justin Baldoni, who once appeared to be the true champion of It Ends With Us, didn't just sit back and watch the drama unfold. Nope, he fired back with a lawsuit that shook the entire project to its core. Allegedly, the lawsuit claims that Blake Lively's actions might have gone far beyond creative disagreements. It's even been suggested that Blake might not have read the book at all before signing on to star in it. Imagine that, a massive Hollywood production based on a beloved novel, and the leading lady possibly never even read it. That's what Justin's lawsuit implies, and if true, it would be nothing short of a betrayal to Colleen's carefully crafted story. But the allegations don't stop there. According to legal documents and leaked texts, there's talk of secretive behind-the-scenes drama. One of the most explosive accusations, that Blake allegedly rewrote huge portions of the script, pushing the narrative in a direction that many fans felt went against the heart of the book. This wasn't just creative friction, it looked like a full-on takeover. And to make matters worse, the lawsuit claims that Justin was left in the dust, sidelined, while Blake and Colleen supposedly joined forces to rework the vision of the film. If you thought things couldn't get more heated, this is where it really hit a boiling point. The legal documents also contained text messages, flirty text messages between Blake and Justin. Speculation began to swirl that what was once thought to be a purely professional relationship might have been a little more personal than anyone realized. Could these texts be fueling the rumors of an off-screen romance? Or were they simply the result of two actors spending a lot of time together on set? The whole situation became a tangled web of accusations, with every twist adding more fuel to the fire. Fans, who had already been questioning Colleen's allegiance to Blake, were now left wondering if the entire It Ends With Us film was nothing more than a messy Hollywood power play. Was the book's emotional core being exploited for glitzy headlines? Was the story of Lily and Ryle, with its deep themes of domestic violence and healing, being overshadowed by star power and behind-the-scenes drama? For Colleen, this was uncharted territory. She had never imagined that the film adaptation of her book would spiral into a lawsuit, accusations of manipulation, and endless speculation. The backlash was already fierce after her support for Blake, but now, with all these legal allegations coming to light, it seemed like the heat was only turning up. Fans were torn. On one side, you had those defending Justin, claiming that his lawsuit was a desperate attempt to get his vision back on track. On the other, you had those who believed Blake's version of events, defending her creative freedom. But with all the conflicting stories, one thing was clear: Colleen Hoover had somehow ended up right in the middle of a legal and public relations nightmare, all while trying to keep her beloved book from becoming a casualty of Hollywood drama. But the big question remains: is Colleen really as in the dark as she seems, or was she fully aware of the chaos behind the scenes? And if so, did she make the wrong choice by backing Blake over Justin? As the lawsuit unfolded and the rumors snowballed, Colleen Hoover found herself at the center of an increasingly vicious storm. Fans who once adored her for writing a book that spoke to the heart now felt betrayed by her actions, and the internet wasn't about to let her forget it. Colleen had always been beloved for her raw, unflinching portrayals of complicated relationships and hard-hitting themes. But now, her public stance in the ongoing drama seemed to undermine everything her fans had respected her for. The backlash hit hard and fast. Social media, as it often does, was unforgiving. Hashtags like Tower Team Justin and Colleen Hoover Betrayed became viral, with readers accusing Colleen of abandoning the integrity of It Ends With Us in favor of Hollywood glam and star power. To many fans, it felt like Colleen was sacrificing her original vision for the book just to stay on the good side of Blake Lively, Hollywood royalty, with her massive fan base and glittering career. And this wasn't just about Colleen's creative choices anymore. It became deeply personal. Fans felt like she had betrayed the story's real heart, its exploration of domestic violence and healing. The movie they feared would turn into a superficial, glossy spectacle rather than a poignant story that could raise awareness and spark conversation. The deeper message about generational trauma, abuse, and the power of healing felt like it was getting lost in the chaos of behind-the-scenes drama. But the real kicker? The controversy over Colleen's It Ends With Us coloring book debacle from a few years earlier. If you remember, Colleen had faced intense intense criticism when she tried to release a coloring book based on a novel that deals with the heavy themes of domestic violence. It was widely regarded as a tone-deaf decision, and the backlash was swift. Colleen apologized, acknowledging that it was a mistake, but the incident had already set the stage for how her fan base would react to her next misstep, and now it felt like history was repeating itself. This time though, the stakes were higher. Fans who had once praised Colleen for being an author who gets it were now questioning her integrity. Had she allowed the lure of Hollywood's glitz to cloud her judgment? Was she willing to compromise the soul of It Ends With Us just to keep the peace with the bigger names in the film? For many, it looked like Colleen had sold out, but here's the twist. Colleen wasn't exactly staying silent about all this. Despite pulling the plug on her Instagram account, fans continued to dissect every action she took, every word she said, and her disappearing act only fueled the flames. Some fans interpreted her ghosting of social media as a strategic retreat, a way to let the storm blow over without adding more fuel to the fire. Others felt it was a sign of regret. Maybe Colleen was finally realizing that siding with Blake had been a wrong move, especially as the narrative began to shift. After all, it wasn't just the lawsuit that was damaging her image. It was the fans who felt betrayed by her. If Colleen thought the backlash would calm down, she was sorely mistaken. Her exit from Instagram only seemed to send the message that she couldn't handle the heat. Fans turned up the pressure even more, demanding answers. Where's Colleen? Became a trending question, and people began speculating on everything from her mental health to the possibility that she was retreating because she knew she had made a major misstep. Had she bet on the wrong horse? Was this her way of conceding that she made a huge mistake? And the timing couldn't have been worse. With the film's release date creeping closer, all this behind-the-scenes chaos was threatening to overshadow the original purpose of the story, the very thing Colleen had poured her heart into. Fans feared the film would turn into another Hollywood disaster, a movie more about star feuds and legal battles than about real important issues. Now, let's talk about a wild card in this whole drama, the one person who surprisingly hasn't said a word, Ryan Reynolds. Normally we know him as the king of witty comebacks, the social media master who never misses a chance to drop a savage tweet or a snarky Instagram story. So when his wife, Blake Lively, became embroiled in this whirlwind of legal disputes, accusations, and fan outrage, we all expected him to weigh in. After all, isn't that what Ryan does? He's the man who turned trolling into an art form, using humor to diffuse any and every situation. But crickets. For weeks, fans waited for a single tweet, an Instagram post, even a cheeky comment in an interview, but nothing came. Ryan Reynolds remained oddly silent during the whole debacle, and this silence, it didn't go unnoticed. What's more interesting though is how the fans are interpreting this silence. Was Ryan just letting Blake fight her own battles, or is he quietly raging behind the scenes? Is he too smart to dive into this public mess, knowing that no matter what he says, it'll just add fuel to the fire? Or more intriguingly, is he holding off on speaking out until the dust settles, waiting for the perfect moment to drop a savage remark that would turn the entire situation on its head? Fans began to speculate, why the silence? Some believe Ryan is trying to avoid becoming collateral damage in a situation that's quickly spiraling out of control. He's a Hollywood powerhouse in his own right, with his own fan base, and he has nothing to gain from getting caught in the middle of Blake's drama with Justin Baldoni. After all, why would he risk tainting his reputation over something that's not even his fight? But then there's the other camp, the people who are reading between the lines. To them, Ryan's silence says something. Some think it's a sign of disagreement. Maybe, just maybe, Ryan doesn't fully support Blake's stance on everything that's gone down. Could he be quietly distancing himself from his wife's actions without actually saying it out loud? After all, he's never been shy about calling out bad behavior, especially in the world of Hollywood, where appearances matter just as much as actions. If that's the case, then the stakes have just gotten even higher, because if Ryan Reynolds, the king of witty burns and sharp comebacks, ever decided to speak up about this, it would send shockwaves through the media. He could blow the whole thing wide open. In a world where everyone seems to have an opinion on every little thing, not having an opinion might actually be the most telling move of all. And here's the thing, this silence only adds more fuel to the fire. It's making people wonder, is there a hidden side to this story? Could Ryan Reynolds, the ever popular and usually usually vocal star actually be in full-blown damage control mode? Maybe he's in the back room planning his next move. Maybe he's waiting to drop the perfect snarky line once the media frenzy has quieted down. But in the meantime, his silence only amplifies the drama surrounding Blake, Colleen, and Justin. And let's not forget, the public is obsessed with this idea of Ryan's silence. It's become its own form of gossip, with fans speculating what it means. Every time Blake posts something, people are analyzing Ryan's absence. Is he distancing himself from her? Is he being the cool husband who doesn't want to add to the drama? Or is he waiting for the perfect moment to pounce with a tweet so perfectly timed that it goes viral and puts everyone else on blast? Whatever the reason, Ryan Reynolds' silence has become just as much a part of the story as any of the accusations or lawsuits. The question remains, how long can he stay quiet? And if when he speaks, will it change everything? Or will it just be another one-liner that makes this whole fiasco even messier? When Colleen Hoover deactivated her Instagram account, it was more than just a social media break. It was a statement, and not a subtle one. With her 2 million followers now left wondering where she'd gone, the timing of her exit spoke volumes. Fans had already started tearing her apart over her public support for Blake Lively, and the backlash was growing by the day. So what does pulling the plug on her entire Instagram presence really mean? Is it a strategic move to escape the drama, or is Colleen quietly conceding that maybe, just maybe, she miscalculated? Let's break this down. Colleen Hoover had built a massive following over the years. Her fans loved her not just for her writing, but for her openness, her engagement, and the way she made them feel heard. So when she vanished from social media, the silence was deafening. It was clear that something serious had rattled her, and the questions started piling up. Was she retreating to escape the overwhelming negativity, or was this her attempt at damage control? The fact that she completely erased her presence online didn't just raise eyebrows, it set off a firestorm of speculation. Some fans saw her departure as a calculated move, a way to let the storm blow over. By stepping back from the chaos, maybe Colleen was hoping to distance herself from the drama surrounding Blake, Justin, and the controversial behind-the-scenes fights. In a world where social media can destroy reputations in a single post, it makes sense that Colleen would retreat, regroup, and wait for things to cool down. It's a move that could be seen as responsible, protecting her mental health and taking a step back from the vicious cycle of internet outrage. But here's where it gets tricky. There's a big difference between taking a break for self-care and retreating in shame. Some fans aren't buying the idea of a mental health break. Instead, they're interpreting Colleen's exit as her admitting that she made a huge mistake, one that she's not sure how to undo. It's almost as if she's signaling to her followers, "I messed up, I need time to figure this out." This perception only fuels the fire, because in the eyes of many fans, a public apology, or at least some kind of explanation, would have been a better way to show accountability. The irony? Colleen Hoover's absence on Instagram is doing exactly what the drama was already doing, keeping her in the spotlight. The more she stays quiet, the more people wonder, is she hiding? Does she regret siding with Blake? And while the internet is filled with armchair critics dissecting every little action she takes or doesn't take, the longer she stays away, the harder it is for her to reclaim her narrative. So is this just Colleen trying to escape the noise? Or is it a deliberate attempt at damage control? If it's the latter, it's a high-stakes game. The more she stays out of the conversation, the less control she has over how this whole saga plays out. If she returns, it's likely that fans will have already made up their minds about her, and her attempts at damage control could be seen as too little, too late. But what if she comes back with a bold statement? What if she admits she misjudged the situation, apologized for her public stance, and tried to win back her fans' trust? At this point, it's unclear whether Colleen's silence will help her salvage her career, or if it'll become the defining moment that fans use to mark the fall of an author who once had the world at her feet. Regardless, the internet's memory is long, and the way Colleen Hoover handles this could be the difference between coming back stronger or permanently tarnishing her image. When Colleen Hoover deactivated her Instagram account, it was more than just a social media break. It was a statement, and not a subtle one. With her 2 million followers now left wondering where she'd gone, the timing of her exit spoke volumes. Fans had already started tearing her apart over her public support for Blake Lively, and the backlash was growing by the day. So what does pulling the plug on her entire Instagram presence really mean? Is it a strategic move to escape the drama, or is Colleen quietly conceding that maybe, just maybe, she miscalculated? calculated. Let's break this down. Colleen Hoover had built a massive following over the years. Her fans loved her not just for her writing, but for her openness, her engagement, and the way she made them feel heard. So when she vanished from social media, the silence was deafening. It was clear that something serious had rattled her, and the questions started piling up. Was she retreating to escape the overwhelming negativity? Or was this her attempt at damage control? The fact that she completely erased her presence online didn't just raise eyebrows, it set off a firestorm of speculation. Some fans saw her departure as a calculated move, a way to let the storm blow over. By stepping back from the chaos, maybe Colleen was hoping to distance herself from the drama surrounding Blake, Justin, and the controversial behind-the-scenes fights. In a world where social media can destroy reputations in a single post, it makes sense that Colleen would retreat, regroup, and wait for things to cool down. It's a move that could be seen as responsible, protecting her mental health and taking a step back from the vicious cycle of internet outrage. But here's where it gets tricky. There's a big difference between taking a break for self-care and retreating in shame. Some fans aren't buying the idea of a mental health break. Instead, they're interpreting Colleen's exit as her admitting that she made a huge mistake, one that she's not sure how to undo. It's almost as if she's signaling to her followers, "I messed up. I need time to figure this out." This perception only fuels the fire, because in the eyes of many fans, a public apology, or at least some kind of explanation, would have been a better way to show accountability. The irony? Colleen Hoover's absence on Instagram is doing exactly what the drama was already doing, keeping her in the spotlight. The more she stays quiet, the more people wonder, is she hiding? Does she regret siding with Blake? And while the internet is filled with armchair critics dissecting every little action she takes or doesn't take, the longer she stays away, the harder it is for her to reclaim her narrative. So is this just Colleen trying to escape the noise, or is it a deliberate attempt at damage control? If it's the latter, it's a high-stakes game. The more she stays out of the conversation, the less control she has over how this whole saga plays out. If she returns, it's likely that fans will have already made up their minds about her, and her attempts at damage control could be seen as too little, too late. But what if she comes back with a bold statement? What if she admits she misjudged the situation, apologized for her public stance, and tried to win back her fans' trust? At this point, it's unclear whether Colleen's silence will help her salvage her career, or if it'll become the defining moment that fans use to mark the fall of an author who once had the world at her feet. Regardless, the internet's memory is long, and the way Colleen Hoover handles this could be the difference between coming back stronger or permanently tarnishing her image. So where does all this leave us? The drama surrounding It Ends With Us has reached a fever pitch, with Hollywood egos clashing, lawsuits flying, and Colleen Hoover herself caught in the crossfire. From Colleen's sudden Instagram exit to Blake Lively's rumored script rewrites and Justin Baldoni's ongoing legal battles, the public fallout has been nothing short of a spectacle. But the real question is, what now? At the center of it all is the question of whether Colleen Hoover and those involved in the film can ever return to the core message of the book. The story, a poignant exploration of love, trauma, and breaking generational cycles, has become overshadowed by the drama of its adaptation. And while the tabloids might thrive off the chaos, it's the fans who are left questioning the very integrity of the project. Is the film still going to be the powerful adaptation they hoped for? Or will it end up as just another casualty of Hollywood's need for drama? What's clear is this: the damage may already be done. For Colleen Hoover, the decision to align herself with Blake Lively during the meltdown has left her facing a wave of backlash from fans who feel betrayed. By deactivating her Instagram, she's pulled away from the storm. But the question remains, is this a strategic retreat to protect herself, or does she regret where she placed her loyalty? And Blake, her silence, combined with the mounting allegations and behind-the-scenes drama, may ultimately define her role in this scandal. Will she emerge as the hero of this story, or will she be remembered as just another Hollywood star caught up in controversy? Only time will tell. For now, all eyes are on the film's release. Will It Ends With Us transcend the drama and deliver the heartfelt, thought-provoking message its fans deserve? Or will the backstage chaos consume it entirely, leaving us with nothing but tabloid headlines and unanswered questions? one thing's for sure, this isn't over yet. The internet's memory is long, and with every new leak, tweet, and speculation, the drama shows no sign of slowing down. Will Colleen Hoover return with a statement that can salvage her reputation? Will Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni settle their differences before the movie hits theaters? Or will Hollywood's penchant for spectacle turn this heartfelt story into yet another cautionary tale about fame, power, and the price of being in the spotlight? Whatever happens next, you can bet we'll all be watching, because in Tinseltown, the drama never truly ends. It just keeps getting hotter.